Sony has quietly launched a revised PS5 model. It is about 300 grams, and now I'm getting just this basic information from Ars Technica. I know this off the top of my head, but always do your research, and I wanted to make sure that what I heard was accurate. So, okay, maybe some merch in the future with that on a hat or a shirt. I don't know. We'll see.
Do your research, dude.
Anyway, so Sony has quietly launched a revised PS5 model. It is about 300 grams lighter, or for you, your people that do not like to use the metrics, it's about a little over half a pound lighter, about 0.6 pounds lighter. There's a new screw for the base, right? A thumb screw, which is much bigger, right? Easier. You can use your actual thumb and fingers now. There's a smaller heatsink. There's less copper in it, and there's a different PCB and PCB slot for the SSD. Brett, what are your thoughts on this? And I have some very specific things I'd like to discuss with you about this, but just listening to that, what are your thoughts?
Well, it annoys me because I already have coworkers like, "Hey, did you see there's a new slimmer PlayStation 5 model? It's a new model." And it's literally just literally so ever so slightly lighter, and it also is a little bit temperature's a little hotter from what I understand with the new smaller heatsink.
Right. So I also forgot to mention that looks like it's a slightly different Wi-Fi card in it, which isn't super important. But so from here, I believe on the right is the launch model, and on the left is the. Okay, wait a minute. On your. So this one right here.
The one with the yellow is
the one with the yellow is the launch model.
That's left.
Yeah. Well, it's right. It's left for them too. Oh,
yeah.
Boy. And then this right one is the updated one, I believe. What I really want to show you though is here the heatsink. So obviously here the one on the left is the launch model. The one on the right is the new model. And look at how much less copper. I don't even think they used. Well, they have the copper heat pipes, but they don't even have as much copper. On the actual plate that the heat sink is sitting on. It looks like aluminum or something else, which I'm not 100% sure what it is. But that's a sizable difference, my man. And we're not super technical people, but even I know how heat sinks work, and that is sizably smaller. And this is giving people a lot of concern, Brett. So what are your thoughts? I have an opinion, but I'm going to hear what you think first.
What do I think about what? The thing as a whole?
The fact that there's just a smaller heat sink.
I don't care. I feel like it has something to do with COVID and the restrictions right now on getting parts and pieces for, different electronics and even vehicles. I know my company that I work for is having a hard time getting trucks and vehicles because there's a shortage on boards right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, listen, if it's getting them to produce more consoles, fine. It's not that big a deal to me, but unless there's something I'm not understanding here, am I missing something here?
Not really. I mean, so Austin Evans is kind of the first one that has done this breakdown. They are starting to arrive in the wild, but he only in Japan. And so he imported it very quickly for a lot of money, and he did this full teardown video of it. It's not super scientific, some of the stuff that they did, but he did measure just at least the residual heat coming out. And the new one is like about 6 degrees hotter, 5 to 6 degrees Celsius hotter, which is, not insignificant. But he also said something that I think is probably the case, where it's like PlayStation might have realized they over-engineered the launch version, where they're like, oh, I don't need as much. We don't actually need as much heatsink here because the cooling solution is already fine. So why don't, in order to save time and produce more consoles and get them out faster so we can sell more, let's reduce the heatsink and change some of these other things just to put them out the door faster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, and I don't think PlayStation or Sony is stupid. There's no way that they didn't test that before launching them or releasing them, right? And if they think it's fine, then it's fine. I know there's a slightly different architecture with the fans too, which I think I forgot to mention, just in how they're actually laid out inside. But I mean, ultimately, it's a little bit lighter. There's a little less stuff in it. It's maybe a little bit of a better fan, but I don't think it's really a huge deal that people are making out to be. And I think it's just as fine, and I wouldn't be really concerned about this if you get one of the new models.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly lighter, but slightly hotter. And when I say slightly, it's like ridiculously slightly. On top of that, it has a different PCB and slot for SSD. At this point, that's still not a big deal because we can't even use the thing unless you're in the beta.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's fine. I don't think
Stephen
it's
Whittle in our chat. Sorry, Josh, I don't mean to interrupt you. He
all
said,
good.
"Do you think that there will potentially be longevity issues with the lack of materials used?"
I don't think so. The biggest cause for concern might be the fact that it doesn't look like they're using as much copper plating. That's not necessarily going to be a longevity issue. Again, that might just going. It's definitely. I mean, just looking at how it's laid out, it's definitely going to affect how much heat, like residual heat, is given off and dispersed, and then pushed through the heat pipes. But I don't really think it's that big of a deal, and it's the same chip, and if PlayStation released it and they think it can run a couple degrees hotter and it's fine, then I think there's nothing to worry about. Also, you have to remember that they can update the fan speed like remotely via OS updates, which they've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
So I think it's engineered for longevity, and if you got a new version of it, I really truly I don't think I would personally be concerned about it. Now maybe we'll see a couple years down the line there's some issue with this new skew, but I don't anticipate there's going to be any issues based off of my knowledge and understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Josh and Brett really need you too. I love them. So do it. It would be a shame if you missed more of their videos. Hit the notification bell too, so you know when there is a new upload.